know if this is going to pick it up, but I'm just finishing this chapter on the recap, um, so I can so I can so I can have this little chapter for the review. Um, and that just means I have to swap this for now. Uh, uh, I like how it's showing backwards because of Restream. Can I switch it on Restream? There we go. Okay, so I'm just finishing up this before we're going into the review. But I plan on working on the review here in just a second. We just finished chapter 1, and I'm using the guide and only doing what the guide says, not talking to any of the NPCs, because I'm just trying to get through the story so I have more points to go back now that I actually know what's going on. So now that I know what's going on, I can talk about how they set certain things up, how it's working, how what was really cool, like the first time I played through it, and then how it changes when you go through and see what's going on. Like I like how here you hear the park rangers and you hear the flute, and then you actually hear the flute, or you hear the flute, and then the next chapter you run into G, who has the flute, right? So you see all the bad stuff that's happening, and like you only get little tidbits in this first chapter, and then it just picks up and picks up. And I really like how that story comes along. So I'm just kind of finishing this chapter, and then I'll go in to talking about the actual game, and work on the review. Of course, I'm intending to leave a number of our soldiers here for the time being. Rest assured that we'll take care of any further problems that may arise. We're greatly obliged. Now, I don't know if you hear music on the thing, because I'm not sharing my screen. So I don't know exactly if you're like hearing music for this. So if I ever did want to do this, I'd have to figure out what or how to do it on this specific thing, because we're on like regular the chat one that we use for the breakdown. All right, let's see if I get the let's see if I get the S rank. Hey, it's Sarah. And look, guys, if you're a man of culture, you hold the turbo button when they're talking and standing there. See the difference? And I like how as you play through, even if it says like different names, you know who it is by their voice. But you never, I'm guessing in the next game you get to know why these two have beef. Oh, are Claire and Lecter brothers and sister? Was she really part of the military? Her movements and actions, those are skilled officials, highly skilled. Um, uh, so I really want to know the backstory between Sarah and Claire, but it's never like it never explains it. So now I'm thinking maybe Sarah dated Lecter if that's her brother. Maybe that's it. Who knows? But I gotta start working on the review once we see if I got the grade. Um, um, but yeah, I got a lot of things to say about this. I have the sheet to work on. Uh, so we'll see how it goes. This is a members only stream, so thanks for members being here. Yeah, I don't know if they hear that. Oh, you were sleeping. All right, let's do it. Oh yeah, Sarah was a bracer. Yeah, I don't think it picks up the sound. All right. Okay, that should finish this chapter for me. And now I can concentrate on the review part. I don't even remember this part from the first time I played it. Wait, is that the Thor's Military Academy logo on his arm? Well, I'll have to look at the thing. All right, now I can focus on my stuff, right? Did I get an S? There we go. Okay. So I'm going to close that out. And then we'll go to my actual, that should be it, right? Okay. Now we'll go back to our camera only. And we'll go to my share page. But hello, everybody. Hello. We're 15 minutes in, and I'm finally starting my review because I was finishing chapter 1. Why can't I find this? Okay. All right. So we got our review. How do I want to start this? All right. Have you ever played a game that you were absolutely loving until the end? Well, that was this game for me. Show raging at end of game. Well, as you can see, all the hype leading up to it, that moment, all ruined by that ending. However, I still think this game is a lot of fun. And very well constructed. Why not? Okay. The characters, even the random NPCs, all have all have different personalities and interesting things going on. Characters, even the random NPCs, all have different personalities and interesting going on. A game that grades you. What up, Spirian? A game that grades you. What up? Here, actually, let's do this. So your chat's up there. Oh, but then I'm really small. I don't want to be really small. Hi, Spirian. Hello. Hey. I've heard that about you. That I'm small? Okay. As compared to you being like 6'72" or inches, 6'72" inches. And I'm under 6 foot. I get it. A game that grades you on quests. You are like 5 feet taller than me. That is true. A game that grades you on the quests you do, but also has hidden quests in each chapter. My first playthrough, I missed so many of the hidden quests. Not realizing that it had changed times and the characters that I had already talked to had new dialogue. I am so the thumbnail and the title says that I am working on my Cold Steel review as a members only stream, because I have memberships for $1.99, and I want to be able to hang out with the members while I work on my my reviews and my videos. So I'm doing this, right? Okay. Clips. Pros. Use the hidden. Use the rows of any other name West. All right. Let's talk about how let's start talking some of the things that makes this a good game and stuff that is bad in the game. Characters, even the MC. Let's save this for a later part. All right, good things. Let's see. That NPCs. The main cast. The supporting cast. Let's see. The characters. No, the NPCs. Main cast. The supporting cast. The battle mechanics. The challenging boss fights. The interconnecting storylines, or the writing, the music, let's see what else. The story, and even the good. And even the, let's see what else is really good about this game. Shit. Let's see. The good. The good stuff are the NPCs, the main cast, the supporting cast, the battle mechanics, the challenge boss fights, the writing, the music, the story, And even the plot twists, the bad stuff, how the dating sim works, the ending, kinda. Um, and how the dating sim parts, the ending. And what up? What up? What was the other bad thing about this game? How much I hated the ending, how the dating sim actually works, and and Machias. The characters, even the random MCPs, all have personalities and interesting things going on. This can be later on. All right, so here's what I got so far. Ready? Have you ever played a game that you were absolutely loving until the end? Well, that was this game for me. Or let's see, that was Trials of Cold Steel for me. Show raging at the end. So I'm going to go to my the ending of our playthrough where I was like, what the fuck is this? I just spent like 15 minutes kicking his ass and just for me to lose. I was like, fuck, you ruined all the hype. I got it. I'll show that raging at the end. Well, as you can see, all the hype leading up to that moment, all ruined by the ending. However, I still think this game is a lot of fun and very well constructed. Let's start talking about some of the things that make this game good, or this a good game, and some of the stuff that is bad in this game. Good stuff are the NPCs, the main cast, the supporting cast, the battle mechanics, the challenging boss fights, the writing, the music, the story, and even the plot twists. The bad stuff is, or the bad stuff are, let's do that. The bad stuff are how the dating sim part works, the ending, kind of, and Machias. And Machias. Well, I'm okay with the story plot, but it's the problem with the ending in this, and I'll get to that later. And Machias. The problem is, it was so hype. I went through, I kicked ass, right? Just for Reen to lose. Fucking hate that. I just had, I was kicking ass, and oh, did it? Well, I'm totally cool with the dating sim. I just think it's done poorly, and I'll explain that in my room. Bad stuff. The bad stuff is the bad are okay. Let's do that. The ending, kind of, and Machias. Like I understand the ending. It sets something up. It's good for the setup, and it's well constructed in the story. But as far as a game goes, if you beat the game, it really sucks that you have to actually beat the boss, and you're like, hyped because you're like, I just beat the last boss of the game, just for the story to be like, actually, you got your ass kicked. You're embarrassed, and now we leave it to look like all your friends died because you're pathetic. And I was like, that is an awful ending. Awful. All right, let's talk about the characters. Actually, well, let me explain. All right, so we'll start there. Then we'll go here. Let's start with the bad, because there is way more good stuff that I want to talk about. I also want to get the bad out of the way so the rest of the video can be fun. Show picture. Oh, hold on. Show picture of Machias. Now let me explain. Let's start with the bad, because there's way more good stuff that I want to talk about. I also, or if the bad stuff is out of the way first, all the fun is yet to come. All right, let's start with the thing I hate the most in this game. Machias. Machias is the son of the governor of Erebonia. Governor Erebonia. Erebonia. Governor. Where this game takes place. Now, he comes in hot, being a giant piece of shit, and cannot a giant piece of shit, and cannot overcome. Do I want to? Sure, why not? What's the difference? Now he comes in hot, being a giant piece of shit, cannot overcome that first impression in my eyes, even though we learn why he is the way he is. It's not his sister, it's his cousin, isn't it? It's Machias' cousin. Right, I think. even though we learn why he is that way. A kid who hates all nobles. Crossbell rebonding isn't love bonding because only one girl in Crossbell that had love bonding. Oh, well, that's fine. A kid who hates all nobles because of what happened to a very close family member. He takes his frustrations out on them instead of treating each person as an individual. Now I can understand that. But another thing that makes me really fucking hate Machias is an interaction with Reen. Early in the game, Reen, our main character. Actually, that is a good thing because later on in the game, that one heroine is actually develops real feelings. But in Cold Steel, you have many love bondings that make you wonder who's Reen going to end up with. So, okay, so this, right? I'm going to talk about this kind of in the dating sim part. The story makes it feel like canonically they're trying to push you towards Elisa, right? The story lines up with Elisa. Now, I have played the ending for Elisa as well as Laura. Now, Laura has a way cooler ending. But it seems more like even with that ending, you complete me, don't smother me in my sleep. I'll try, Swigs. Yeah, right? But like it seems more like they're partners that want to grow together. Can you kick Swigs, Biggles? No, this is a member stream. Swigs pays $1.99 to be here. No one can kick anyone in this chat. Anyone in this chat is safe. We can't kick any of the members. No kicking Swigs. Now, if you mean in real life, sure, go for it. Okay, so back on the subject that we were talking about, right? It seems that that's the main one, right? Emma, other than Reen liking her boobs, I mean, actually kick him. Well, yeah, if you're in person with him, go for it. Swigs is very kickable. Yeah, that's fine. What was my train of thought? Like Emma in this first one, it doesn't seem like there's any romance at all. And I guess maybe when you do more maybe like if you go to the like even the like bike ride, like the bike ride sounded like him and Elisa like definitely like each other. Him and Emma doesn't seem that way, right? And that's supposed to be like an intimate moment. And you just don't feel that with a lot of the other characters. Now I hear in the later games the dating sim's a lot better. And and the bonding's a lot better, and it feels more like you're actually contributing to the dating thing. And like the ending, okay, so like there's the bonding events, right? And you can hang out with Crow. Well, I didn't hang out with Crow at all. And the first time I met Crow, he lied to me. And I know he lied to me because I was like, listen, you didn't catch that coin. And it didn't give me the option to say, hey, you didn't catch it. Which annoyed me about the game, right? But I didn't hang out with Crow. I didn't do any of the bonding events with Crow because I didn't really care for Crow. So that's why when it came to the end where we find out that Crow is actually the big bad, I didn't care. It didn't make me think, oh, I care about Crow being my friend. No, now I want to kill Crow even more because I realize that he was. I'll love Crow later on. Don't worry. I don't know. He threatened Toa, and no one can threaten Best Girl and get away with it. You know, fucking kick him in his fucking head. But you know what I did like about Crow? I did like how he had a giant delay that I can move wherever I wanted. I don't even know if Chunk's here. All right. So let's go back to this. Now we'll talk about the dating sim when I get to that next paragraph, right? Early in the game, Reen, our main character, is asked by Machias if he has any noble blood in him, or if he is a noble. And since Machias has already been a piece of shit about how much he fucking hates nobles, Reen, who was adopted, said he has zero noble blood in him, which isn't a lie. Later in the game, Reen says, I am a noble, or I was adopted by nobles, and I am a noble, or something like that. Machias then has a bitch fit saying, you lied to me. Yet Reen chose his words very carefully because Machias is, in fact, a piece of shit. And he didn't want to deal with that shit. Or that did not want to deal with his shit. I leave for 5 seconds and Swig once anally probed someone or something. Yeah, that sounds like him. Just a heads up, most enemies you fight will become your allies. Well, yeah, that's a huge anime trope. That happens in all anime games. Let's see. Or like, and anime, it's okay. So like Dragon Ball Z, right? Let's go through Dragon Ball Z. So the first bad guy that I can think of that becomes friends is Yamcha, right? Yamcha was the bandit. Then Goku and Yamcha become friends, right? Then Tien and Chaozu. Then Piccolo? Is there someone before Piccolo? And then Vegeta. Right? Yeah, then Vegeta. Then there's who after Vegeta? Enemy that becomes a friend in Dragon Ball after Vegeta. There's Majin Buu. Does someone happen before Majin Buu? Android 18. Android 18. Technically, Android 9 or 16 as well. And then we don't really know that 17 has become friends with them during that period because you don't see him after the Cell Saga. You don't see him till Super. Is that what he says? And then Majin Buu, right? And then does anybody do it in Super besides Broly? Beerus. Beerus was the enemy, but then he became friends, right? Broly. You could argue the Saiyans from Universe 6, enemies to friends. Yeah, but like so many bad guys become your friends in anime that if every single enemy I fight in this game became my friend afterwards, I'd understand it because it's anime, right? It's a very anime trope, right? All right. Now let's talk about the dating sim. The dating sim. In your first playthrough, you don't have a lot of bonding points. So can actually, or you don't have a lot of bonding points. So if you you don't have a lot of bonding points. Some of them don't even give you the option to date them, or the option for the dating part in the first run. Now I understand some dating or some dating sim only games do that. But this game, the dating or the bonding events are important to the power of the mechanics. Sometimes it feels punishing to bond with the character you like the most because because the mechanical part or the mechanical part bonus is more important at that time. New Game Plus fixes this, but still, you have to beat the game to get that part. Which took me 125 hours. You see the problem? This first game clearly sets up Elisa as the main love interest in the game, and a lot of the other girls' bonding events don't seem to be romantic. I mean, one event, just as Reen thinking about how big her boobs are. That sounds romantic, doesn't it? If it didn't try to do, if it didn't try to set this up as if this set up the dating premise a little better with a more rewarding towards the dating, I think it could be a lot better. However, I don't care about the dating in this game. I care more about the mechanics. So none of this actually matters. It's just badly, it's a bad part of this game. Okay. This doesn't really matter, but it is in there. So I thought I would talk about it. And it could have been better. Now, let's talk about the ending. As you saw, I raged at this ending. Now, the ending is not bad story-wise. Sets up a great cliffhanger for part 2. And it just goes to show you how strong your opponents are. However, this is a game. And there is nothing worse in a game than fucking beating the stupid final boss just for the game to say, fuck you, you actually lost. Go eat shit, fucker. That is basically the ending. I had to fight 3 fights in a row defeat the boss just for the boss to play possum and say, nope, I win. It kills all enjoyment of the hard work it took to beat the boss. All right, let's do this. All right, enough of the hate. This game is fantastic. Let's talk about all the good stuff. All right. The setting, Erebonia, sets the stage, or Erebonia is the stage for the show, or for the game. Everything in Erebonia feels different. Different NBC, but let's see. Erebonia sets the stage of the game. Everything in Erebonia feels different. Each field study you do, this game is let's change it up, right? Let's give some information about the game. All right, Erebonia. All right, enough of the hate. This game is fantastic. Cold Hill takes place in the Empire Erebonia. In the town of Trista, where the famous military school, Thor's, is located. Thor's sets up a new class called Class 7. Now, Class 7 has both nobles and commoners. We are in the middle of high tension between the noble faction and the reformist factions. Man, there's a lot here. Maybe there's no way I can do all this tonight. But what do you guys think so far? Do you guys think I should change some of the way this is said? I'm going to have to put like a lot of scenes from the game in there. The fucking wait, that fucking doesn't need to be there. Now I wanted to change fucker to something way worse, but fucker tends to not get as much trouble as what I would say. Oh, Irribonia is actually in there. Okay, look at that. And the reformist factions. Um, uh, Cold Steel takes place over a 7-month period. Here you make Spirian irritable. Okay. Cold Steel takes place over a 7-month period. In these 7 months, we meet 6 places in Irribonia. Class 7 goes on. Class 7 goes on field trips or field studies. These allow the kids to learn what is going on in the world during the tension between the two factions. More on this in the parts I like. So stick around. I've spelled. Man, I don't know what to put. Let's move this into there, right? Let's. Since this game takes place in school, the game grades you on the quests you do. But there are also hidden quests in each chapter. My first playthrough, I missed so many of these hidden quests, not realizing that, or that it had changed times, or how about not even realizing it? Use the rows of any other quests. Let's see. What else? What else explains this game? terrorists attack during these quests or these studies. Let's put this in front of this sentence. Would you guys watch this? Does this seem interesting for a review? Terrorists attack during these field studies, leading to leading Class 7 to take action. Each of these come with great growth of the characters and the world building. Okay. Okay. There's so much more to write. I might have to. I'm going to have to think of a lot more stuff. Maybe. Let's get together again next Tuesday. And we'll work on more on that Tuesday. Then I'll try to record it all Wednesday. And then if I can, I'll have it set to go on June 1st. Yeah, let's call this for now. So thanks for hanging out for this short little member stream while we work on one of my reviews. I gotta refresh the brain. Okay, so Cold Steel 2 is going to start when I get back from my vacation. So we start Cold Steel 2 on I get back on the 8th. But I don't know if I'm going to end up going to the con on the 8th or if we're going to do something for my birthday. So June 13th. And when I say do something for my birthday, I mean with like coworkers and stuff. Because the whole reason why I'm gone is we're doing a birthday thing. So the first official day of Cold Steel 2 will be 8 p.m. Eastern on February. I saw the Friday and I thought that meant February. Okay, on June 13th. So on June 13th in 7, 14, 21, 22, 23, 20, 24 days. 24 days we'll be playing Cold Steel because I don't want to start it and then miss 2 weeks of streaming because I'll be gone. Right? Because that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be 5 streams that I would miss. And I would much rather yeah, I know. I would have honestly, I would have started it the other day right after on Sunday. But right now I'm just kind of speed running through the first one again on New Game Plus. I didn't do Nightmare, I just did Hard again. Trying to get half of the trophy or the rest of the trophies. And then I might eventually just do a third playthrough on Nightmare to get that final trophy. But I just wanted to kind of like play around. And if I can get the valedictorian one that I'm speedrunning it to, my Cold Steel campaign would have even higher stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, since I'm not playing it until I get back, look, I can now even make my character even better in 2. So, I mean, I've only been doing New Game Plus for like a day when I'm like in my bed trying to fall asleep on my Steam Deck. Well, I need to figure out how to build. I don't understand building correctly in this game. Right? And I assume with Laura, you're earth breaking every time because it's an A rank skill and it lowers defense and it hits like a fucking freight train. Like using anyone but Laura. Right? I don't understand the building or the how to build characters that well in this game. Like, and I also feel like people have better quirks than me when they're saying they can do all this shit. And then I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's New Game Plus, right? And they're doing all this shit in New Game Plus. But yeah, there's plenty of shit I probably shouldn't have done in this. Yeah, you may need to lower enemies' defensive stats and buff Laura's strength so you can deal massive ultimate damage. Oh yeah, well, with my Eustace buff, like the way I was doing with Eustace, right? I don't know if you watched my final fight. I didn't have Laura in. Because I didn't have Reen set up as like an evasion. So like Fee was just evading everything and just wrecking everything. So I didn't want to give up Fee and I didn't want to give up Eustace. And then Elisa was just like the super battery. And it always feels weird to have Reen off the team. So, but yeah, if Reen didn't feel like a forced character because he's the main character, I would have taken a different team. Like he wouldn't be on my starting team. He's on my starting team until Eustace gets Noble Command. Because Noble Command is way better than Motivate. Yeah, I assume he's kick ass in 2 and 3 and 4, especially in 4 because he has the silver hair. So I'm guessing he's like found a way to master his form, and it's not going to kill him. Yeah, but I'm going to start 2 on June 13th. If you notice on my channel, I'm changing. I'm working on changing all the title names of the stream, and all the thumbnails for the streams, so they don't all look the same. So you can find out which one's which, and we'll have like spots. Yeah, I believe it. But yeah, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to head out of here, guys. I appreciate everyone being here, and because this is a member streams. Oh wait. Oh, here. Okay, you just got here. I'll pull it back up. Let me pull it back up. Let me pull it back up. Let me pull it back up. Okay. Okay, so pulling it up this way on this browser so I can use this. Funny enough, it's not as big as the other one was. All right, so here it is. Ready? Let's start with the bad because there's way more good stuff that I want to talk about. If the bad stuff is out of the way first, all the fun is yet to come. All right, let's start with the thing I hate the most in this game, Machias. And when I say that, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go like this, Machias, and then show a picture of Machias, right? Machias is the son of the governor of Erebonia, where this game takes place. Now, he comes in hot being a giant piece of shit, and I cannot overcome that first impression in my eyes. Even though we learn why he's that way, a kid who hates all nobles because of what happened to a very close family member, he takes his frustrations out on them instead of treating each person as an individual. Now, I can understand that, but another thing that makes me really fucking hate Machias. I can't believe I didn't write hate there. Really fucking hate Machias. Let's do it in all caps. Hate Machias. It's the interaction with Reed. Early in the game, Reed, our main character, is asked by Machias if he is a noble. And since Machias has already been a piece of shit about how he fucking hates nobles, Reed, who was adopted, said he has 0 noble blood in him, which isn't a lie. Later in the game, Reed says, I was adopted by nobles and I am a noble, or something like that. Machias then has a bitch fit saying, you lied to me. Yet Reed chose his words very carefully because Machias is in fact a piece of shit, and he did not want to deal with his shit. That is my Machias part. And I fucking make fun of him as I say Machias words. So I think my Machias part is going to be chef's kiss. I mean, I could say mechanically the burst limit redeems him, but fuck him. Hold on. Maybe should I add that part? Mechanically, burst limit makes him likable, but nah, fuck him. He sucks. Right? I don't know if I add that too, but because I know people are going to, or some people are going to be like, but Machias, I like him. And be like, shut up, losers. You know? But yeah, I really don't like Machias. So this is probably a third of the way done. My opinion on the ending. Let's see. The game. Beating the stupid final boss just for the game to say, fuck you, you actually lost, go eat shit, fucker, is everything is Machias' fault, right? That is how I feel the ending is, right? It's the ending of this game is such a hype killer that I cried. But I did say, I did say beforehand, now the ending is not bad story-wise. I understand from a story perspective that is good. But when you look at the game, you're playing a game, man. There should be nothing more hype than defeating the final boss in any game. And when you take that final boss fight and turn it into oh, who cares what you did in this whole battle? You lost. And that is the end of your story. It kills the fucking hype for that fight. It kills everything that was happy in the last um like hour of the game. Or you've been building up to this moment, You finally beat them. And then they're like, nah, fuck you, man. Right? Like, I think Kingdom Hearts does something like that, but you actually beat them and then they like disappear, but have like a trap that's set, right? It's not like, so in this one, Crow's like, ha, I got you. I wasn't hurt at all. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? I just fucking whooped your ass. And you're like, oh, no, sorry. If you're going to do that, you better give me a face too. Don't be like, because that's a two-phase fight, right? You fight him, you get him to 25% health, and then he counters your stuff. So that's the second phase. So the second phase, you got to set up for a counter if he counters, right? Well, then add a third phase to the fight. Reheal us all, give us all our stuff, and let us go into a third fight. But no. Man. Yeah, I know. But it's the end of the game, right? It's the final boss. Like, I understand they knew they were getting like a second game, but when that is the final boss of a game, I understand it's a 5-part series. Fucking sucks. The S break, or the mech has an S break. How does he start the S break in the mech? Is that only maybe that's a nightmare thing? Um, uh, um, but yeah, it was just so fucking hurtful, man. I found a way to finally, same as you by racking up 3 follow-up attacks. Oh, so that's if I fuck up and attack him when he's blocking, right? Um, um, yeah, so the fourth is the S break. Oh, okay. But yeah, oh man, fucking what a hype killer. I can't play games where they're going to like, I know you guys said just wait. There's other ones that kind of fuck you in this, but if it's another one where it's me kicking ass, and they decide, well, you lose this fight, I'm probably going to quit the franchise. It's like if I get to one of those, like I'm still going to play, right? I'm still going to play until I get to that. But if that happens again because they just want to give you a cliffhanger, I'm going to be like, I can't play this franchise anymore. It's just a hype killer. It gets you all hyped just to have the main boss shit the bed. But it was a lot of fun. I'm going to give it a good score. You know, I'm going to that ending though. The last boss makes me take it down a point. Right. I thought it was probably getting close to one of my favorite games I've ever played. Oh yeah, my camera's up here, not down there. The chat is just down there, so I'm kind of like looking at the chat. It went from probably one of my top 10 favorite games to no longer in the top 10 just because of that ending. I can't play games that take the final boss or take all the hype away. There should be nothing better than beating the final boss. And this game takes that away. And I don't know if I put that in my review, but I should make sure that's in there because that is my biggest problem with this game is I was so hyped that I was doing it. Like maybe so if I don't kill him, right? Right, I beat him, but he escapes, and as he's uh escaping, he let's say he shoots like a gun. Like I know he had the double spear, but let's say he escapes and he shoots a gun because he has two guns throughout the entire game, right? So let's say he shoots me as he escapes, clipping me, and he goes, "Later, Rain," and Rain's down for the count. I wouldn't be as mad because he did it running away. I would have preferred that ending, right? Or maybe if he shoots the thing and it looks like Reen's friends are dead, and Reen is too weak to chase after him. But like this one's like, I just fought him. I just finally beat the last boss. And Crow's like, yeah, I'm not even damaged at all. Is a fucking slap in the face. And I think I need to rewrite that part and put what I just said in there. But yeah, we're going to start Cold Steel 2 on June 13th because I will be back. That is the first Friday. We're going to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll probably be playing Baldur's Gate. But if we do an early Baldur's Gate, like we are supposed to, but my friends keep bailing, Sunday night, I might add like a couple hours in Cold Steel 2. And I might do like, I kind of want to do like videos. And then if I'm not working on a video, give you like maybe an hour or two of Cold Steel 2 during the week. Because like if I do like a 6 to 8 stream, my time 6 to 8 stream, that gives me about 2.5 hours to eat, catch up on any anime I need to do, and maybe like script out or record some videos. In Cold Steel and Sky, it won't happen again. Thank God. In Crossbell, okay, so Crossbell, if it happens in so the thing is, if it happens in Crossbell, it might actually make a little sense because we already know what's going on between Crossbell and Cold Steel, right? Because in Crossbell, they just stole the weapon and attacked the Erebonia, right? And that, I'm assuming that takes place in the first game based on the timeline said like Crossbell starts like 1 month earlier. So like how they steal the weapon or whatever. So I can understand like them being beaten, but it would still be so annoying. Okay. Bear in mind, there are some enemies above the protagonist's leagues you can't win. Push them back. Story advances, total victory will come later in the game. Yeah, okay, no, that's the thing, right? The fact that Crow just kicked the shit out of us as the final boss, like there's nothing more demoralizing than beating a game and the boss, like you don't even hurt the boss that you fought. So like that boss fight could have been in the next game. Because C kicks our ass before, right? C kicked our ass before, but it's not the last boss of the game. I understand this is a 5-game series because the other game ties up a lot of endings to Cold Steel, right? But still, that's the final boss fight in the game, and you just get the floor. They wipe the floor with you. Now, like I said, if he's like taking damage and he's like, I'll be back, and like shoots them, and then you see like you still get the same ending where they're all hurt, and like Reen tries to like chase after him, and maybe the ship is too weak and it like crashes into the water or something. That, like, to me, that would have been better. Yeah, right. If that fight, like, if that fight happens in the middle of the game, right? That fight happens in the middle of the game. I am not as angry as I was when it was the final boss. I would have been like, shit, and all my friends are now hurt or dead, right? Because I had to retreat because they're like, no, you got to get out of here, right? But it was the last fight of the game. And that is the worst thing in a game, to end your game with, haha, your character's so fucking weak, he got demolished. He thought he did some damage. Nope, you did 0 damage. And now you're almost fucking dead. And your friends sacrifice themselves for you. Let's agree to blame Machias on that. You know what? Machias manned the fuck up, though, and was like, yeah, I'll fight you. The only time Machias was a man in the entire fucking game is a cutscene where they're like, yeah, Machias is dead. And I was like, thank God. But he lives. So fuck. Because I know there's a Cold Steel 2, 3, and 4. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. We'll start Cold Steel 2 on the 13th. I have been playing. I just finished chapter 1 at the very first 15 minutes of the show. I just finished chapter 1 on New Game Plus, but I didn't put it on Nightmare. I just put it on hard. So I'm just like speed running it through with the guide to try to get all the stuff on there. But that's it. Bye, everybody. Oh, wait, hold on. This is my show, right? I have outros. So let's do Lucy.